Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo flying insect trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo flying insect trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
A paranoid Vladimir Putin is rushing his troops and military tanks to the Russian region of Kursk to defend against the fierce Ukrainian invasion. A huge convoy of Ukrainian tanks have continued to storm into several Russian regions, decimating Putin's soldiers, supplies, and buildings in a major masterstroke cross-border offensive this week. In response to the heavy blitzing, Russia's defense ministry has announced a major uphaul of their military capabilities over to the front lines. In a statement to local media, they said Russia is moving multiple rocket launchers, towed artillery guns, tanks transported on trawls, heavy tracked vehicles and Ural and Kamaz trucks, with them being deployed to defend Kursk's Sudzansky district, which has been at the heart of Ukrainian attacks since Tuesday morning. The latest Ukrainian offensive has seen a column of Russian troops being deployed out to halt the Ukrainian counter-invasion ruthlessly eliminated. Shocking footage shows a 400-strong military unit moments after it was blasted, with bodies piling up on the road and inside of the burnt-out service trucks. Putin's men were taken out by a HIMARS missile strike which directly blasted the convoy of 14 trucks. The horrific trail of exploded trucks covered well over 100 feet of road in the war-torn Kursk region. The exact number of deaths is still unconfirmed, but it is set to mark one of the most crushing attacks of the war for Russia so far. It comes as terrified Russian locals in the area have been forced to escape due to the continued drone and missile strikes. Footage shows civilians driving away from their homes in huge numbers after Russian officials were made to declare a state of emergency after the shock invasion. Despite the dire situation, Putin spoke with Alexei Smirnov, the acting governor of Kursk Oblast, and told them the situation requires courage and composure. In a bizarre speech talking about the Kursk conflict, the dictator told Smirnov, "Life poses extraordinary, challenging tasks of helping people. While you certainly have the necessary professional knowledge, skills, and experience, they alone are not enough. In today's circumstances, you need a certain level of courage and composure." On Thursday, reports claimed Ukraine had advanced up to 20 miles inside Russia, leaving Putin humiliated by being caught out. The tyrant blasted the attack as a large-scale provocation. Ukraine's army is said to be looking to keep control of Kursk and the surrounding regions for as long as possible despite Russia calling on reinforcements. President Volodymyr Zelensky said last night that Russia needed to feel the consequences of its invasion, which started over 2 years ago. An advisor to the brave Ukrainian leader says the plan is to disrupt Putin's regime and force him onto the negotiating table. To strengthen their position, Zelensky has reportedly asked the U.S. to allow them to use long-range ATACMS missiles to strike airfields used by Russia. According to the Washington Post, the advisor said, this will give them the leverage they need to negotiate with Russia. Washington is already said to be discussing the use of U.S.-supplied weapons for Ukraine to use against Russian targets. Former British military intelligence officer Philip Ingram described the Ukrainian offensive as a masterstroke by Zelensky and an utter embarrassment for Vlad and his men. Ingram said, "The mini-invasion targeted an area where Russian defenses are weak. Ukraine has embarrassed Putin and the Russian military. They've brought the war to ordinary Russians and set the conditions for negotiations. It is too early to tell Ukraine's ultimate objectives, but on the surface it could be a masterstroke if they can continue the advance and hold off Russian counterattacks. Ukraine has continued to find success even without the more powerful weapons they hope for." By James Halpin, Foreign News reporter. Ukraine has attacked Russia itself a number of times since Russia invaded their neighbor in February 2022. The strikes have included both ground assaults with tanks and troops, and also the use of long-range missiles. In March, Ukraine, supporting Russian rebels from the Freedom of Russia Legion, FRL, Siberian Battalion, SB, and Russian Volunteer Corps, RDK, launched a two-pronged assault. In May last year, the Free Russia Legion attacked the C.